I'm Scott Bain. They called me the old farmer. I mentioned a couple of videos back that I had ordered a new computer, one that will supersede the laptop that I have been using. I'm recording this live, so it'll be a little bit more rough than when I do a voiceover. This is the laptop, and the screen is 1080, and it did a pretty good job. When we first got Maggie, she didn't understand things, and the laptop went off the table 10 times too many, and it's starting to fail. Keys are sticking, or I have to hammer on them to have them put a particular letter up on the screen. So the tower I ordered in can do 4K video editing without any problems. I'll start with the monitor screen. This is a 4K screen, and it's made by LG. And the screen cost about as much as what most people would pay for a laptop, for a good laptop. And when it came in, it only worked for about 3 days and then stopped. I pulled out a meter and checked the power supply for it. And the power supply is designed to run from 100 volts all the way up to 240 volts. And I think they buried a fuse inside, and it's a sonic weld case, so you can't get into it. But it stopped after 3 days. And I put a meter on it, and it was the power supply. So I called LG up and explained the situation, and they would be very happy to send a cord out, but they wouldn't send out a replacement power supply. Talked to the place that we got the screen from, which is through Amazon, but it was an independent company, and they wouldn't do anything about it. That is sending out a power supply. Now, everybody said that if we sent the package back, the whole screen back, we'd be able to get a replacement. We even have a 3-year warranty package on the screen. So we talked to the insurance provider for the screen and explained that it was a bad power supply. It stopped working after less than 3 days. They said send everything back. They wouldn't just send out a power supply. Well, if you're talking about the little bitty screen that most people set up on their computer desk, that would be an understandable thing. You just package it back up, put it back in the box, and send it out. But this was a complex system. It's got not a spring, but a compression style post to set everything up and put it where we wanted it put, and lined it up and everything. It took a half a day. And we all know that when you box up something, it'll take twice as long as when you're installing it. So I was not open to that procedure. Way too much more work than what's necessary. Because I would have to dismantle everything, take the various parts apart, and then try to package it back up into the box that it came in. And then try to get the styrofoam to fit properly, and then get it in the box, and then tape it up. Taping the box was no effort. So the nice lady that I talked to, my wife, Mrs. Old Farmer, Marty, was the one that actually was talking with her on the phone, but I was right there with her, suggested that we buy another screen. And then we cherry pick the pieces out that we needed to get this up, and then send the whole thing back with the bad parts in it, which is a lot easier to do, and this is what we did. So for a whole lot more money, we bought another screen, and it came in about 5 days. We opened the box up. I took out the power supply, plugged it into the system that we had in place, and it fired right up, and it's been working perfectly. Oh, let's see. It came on, I believe, Tuesday, and this is Thursday. Well, let's see. Is it going to fail today or tomorrow? I don't know. But so far, so good. So we packaged up the bad power supply in that package, and it's ready to be shipped out. As I mentioned before, it was an LG monitor. Let's see if I can remember the model number. It was 27-inch, so it was 27, UN880-ACU or some such thing like that. I would expect this on the typical cheap big box store type screen to have this kind of problem. Not with the one that's designed for photographic work so that you can do color matching with. As I said, it wasn't a cheap screen. So the hassle of dealing with getting things working again, it's very simple. LG is now off my list. They could send me something, wouldn't accept it. I'll keep the screen, but it'll be the only LG thing in the house. And we're in the process of figuring out exactly when we're going to remodel the kitchen in the house. LG lost the ability to be part of that remodel. Now let's go on to the computer. It's a tower. It's got at least 5 fans in it, and it's right beside the microphone. You can hear it a little bit. It sounds about like a furnace with a blower in a lower setting for forcing the air through. It's very quiet, beautifully quiet whisper fans. Now, if I'm doing a lot of work, it will get a little noisier. No more than what a computer would if the heat level came up and the fans had to go to a higher speed. Nothing objectionable in this particular tower. This is seen through the side of the computer case. It's a glass panel, and everything is lit up inside. It looks quite nice. Let me explain what we did for the computer. First of all, it's a Linux. Top to bottom, it's a Linux. It's got 13 terabytes of hard drive, 1 terabyte of solid-state hard drive, and 2 6-terabyte hard drives in this, and there is room for more. Plus, I've got an outboard hard drive, 6 terabyte, plugged into for a total of 19 terabytes of storage off of this computer. The memory is 32 gigabytes of the DR4, so it's got some speed in it. The processor is an AMD. I don't remember the model number of it. It's the top of the line. AMD does not build a more powerful AMD that they sell at this particular time. It's the top of the line. The Sapphire video card. It's a Radeon design. It's an AMD design, so it's compatible with the CPU. It's got 16 gigabytes of memory on it, and it's the top of the line. Now, I don't go out for fancy stuff. To me, it's hardware that makes a difference. And if it's built well, that's important to me. But where I got the computer from, and it was just the tower with an outboard Blu-ray disc burner, recommended this tower for this configuration. Since I retired, I haven't been keeping up with what the latest gadgets are in computers and things like that. Could I have built the tower myself? Yes, I could. I built many computers, so that isn't a problem. But as I said, I haven't been keeping up with what the latest stuff is out there, so I needed the experience of someone following along. And so after probably, I would say, a 2-year search, because I knew that eventually I would have to get another computer, that the laptop just wouldn't do it. It was stretching it even when I first started doing video editing for the channel. So with that in mind, I was carefully looking for a place where I could get a nice Linux computer. And current build at currentbuild.com, let's go up and take a look at the So you can see it right there, and I'll put it down into the comments below. They're emphasizing Linux gaming computers. You'll pretty much build it any way that you want. They install the operating system of your choice. Now, I got Mint because of the things that I wanted to do, and that was their recommendation. So I got the top of the line. I don't remember where this AMD Ryzen 7 5800X processor. I got the top of the line. If that's it, that's it. And the important thing to remember is there is so much power in this CPU that it's water cooled. It's an important thing to remember. And instead of going with this for the video card, we went top of the line AMD. And he had a sweat out trying to get it for me. Parts were a little hard to get at this level. But he worked for it. He had the contacts. He called around and was able to get one. The first CPU system, the CPU cooler, the pump didn't work right. And so he instantly swapped it out with another one that's taking care of the problem. That's the nice thing about having someone build the computer for you. And if you want to have a Windows computer, you can have one. Now, how would I see someone buying a computer from these folks? I wouldn't say a college computer. Unless someone needs high power for doing something, I wouldn't suggest this. Usually for a college student, you get the cheapest computer that does the job. If you're in the computer department or you're going to be doing programming or such, I would recommend looking at these people. The only thing that might happen with me is I might have to replace the memory because as things progress, I might need to have more computing capability. And I've got the slots where I can just plug in the memory. The computer card that I had, the motherboard, happens to have 4 slots. He put in 2 16 gigabyte cards, and so I can put whatever else I want. It is capable of holding, with this motherboard, 128 gigabytes of memory. Now, this is a company that they don't mind whatsoever that you call. They want to know what you want. I bought the screen separate. We didn't talk about it. Should have probably. I wanted a keyboard that felt like an old typewriter. I don't like the feel of keyboards on computers. If I had my druthers, the old IBM Selectric typewriter, the keyboard on it, I wish they'd make that for a computer. That absolutely fits my hand perfectly. The keyboard I got feels like an old Underwood manual typewriter. I wanted backlighting so that if it's at night and the room is dark, I can still see what I'm doing, although I do know how to touch type. The trackball I got, I've been using this Logitech trackball, I don't know, for 20 years. I keep buying them. So this is a T-BC21 trackball. I've got them all over the house. Ever since I started using this trackball, I've probably gone through about 30 of them. Let's go and put the contact information. These are honest people. I talked with Camille. He's a great guy. He loves computers. He loves his work. He's got a good sense of humor. And he works with you to find out what you want, and then he'll guide and help pick what we need to do. So I told him that I use KDNLive for video editing, and I don't want to use anything else, and that I want to be able to do 4K. In fact, I recorded for the first time. I'm going to be putting up a 4K video. I've always been doing 1080. This particular time, I'm going to be putting up a 4K video. I'm a firm believer. If you find a place that does things the old-fashioned way, I mean with quality service and excellent parts and all those things that you want. In other words, find a business that is the way that you would run it if it was yours, rather than the way you go into a fast food restaurant and nobody cares. At current build, and Camille is the one that I talked to, They owned this computer while it was being built, and he wanted to make sure that everything was just perfect. He wants to make sure this thing works the way that you want it to work. So this is the company to give them a call and talk to them and see if they can do what you want done. Go and talk to them, and you'll just find out how much they enjoy computers and such, and that they are proud of offering Linux computers. It's very hard to find a good place that offers Linux computers as the main focus of their business. And I will tell you, Linux is, 100 times better than Windows or Mac. Because with Linux and the software that's available, it works like public television. It's free. Most of it's free. And so if you like it, they ask you to send a little bit of support, a few dollars to them, which is reasonable. And so they make sure that the software is up to where it's supposed to be. So it works a lot better than what you would find with Windows or with Apple. But you'll find everything you need. The only place that Linux might be weak is dictation. Still a little weak with dictation, and Windows would be better for that. Graphics, better. Video editing, better. I almost pulled out a shotgun and took out the Apple computer that I had bought because of the video editing software was so frustrating. And here's the other thing. I don't have to worry about formats with Linux. You know how with Mac computers and Windows computer, you could run into a problem with it's not compatible? That doesn't happen with Linux. If you want something that will last and that you don't have to keep upgrading and do this and do that, and you want it in Linux, or you can want it in Windows too, talk to these people. Talk to Camille. Current build computers. When it's time to replace Mrs. Old Farmer's desktop computer, we're going to go back and talk to Camille again and see what he's got. So he's very flexible. He builds that computer the way that I would build it if I was interested in building a computer and was keeping up on the new improvements. But it's been 20 years since I built a computer. And as I said, I haven't kept up on it. I've been buying laptops until it was time for me to get a real tower computer. I've been using Linux since version 2 of Red Hat. Red Hat now is enterprise one where you have to buy, but it started out as free. And then when they took that to enterprise, they started Fedora. Pre-Fedora was Red Hat, and I started with version 2. I've been with Linux a long time. I've been frustrated with Windows. I've been frustrated with Mac. I'm at peace with Linux. I've been recommending Fedora and Debian, but this Mint distribution of Linux is absolutely unbelievable. The last time I looked at it, it was not ready for anybody except computer geeks. Well, this is the tour. Let me say thank you to all of you watching. Thank you. To those who subscribed and rang the bell and left a comment, thank you also. Each and every one of you are important to me and to the channel. For those who are first-time watchers, we're trying to reach that magical 1,000 subscribers so that YouTube will start offering pittances to us. We don't need much, but so far we've had to replace one camera and have ordered in a water-cooled computer tower to increase our efforts. That's right, a water-cooled computer. We aren't asking for money, just for folks subscribing and hanging in there until we reach our goal. We are getting the views. Since last week, we've had almost 1,000 more views of our videos. So when I say thank you, I really mean it. Thank you to all of you. Well, this is the old farmer, Scott Bain. Be well. Be safe.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.